when to be sending emails, when not to be sending emails, what to look out for emails. There's a few things that a lot of people overlook when it comes to email marketing, which is why I wanted to go through this training to make sure that nobody watching this will ever make these mistakes, essentially. So let's jump straight into it. So first thing, you're going to need an email provider that's going to be sending your emails in bulk. You don't want to be sending manual emails as you probably imagine. So there's literally hundreds of them out there. I've just put 6 pretty popular ones out there that a lot of people use. They've all got different plans, different packages. So do your research, figure out which one's easy for you to use. But the reason I put these 6 together is I find them to be I've only used probably about 3 of these, but they're super, super user friendly, which is something I'm always looking for when using an email provider. One big misconception when it comes to emails is that I find that people's objective when sending emails is to simply just tick that tick box of saying, hey, I've sent out an email today. And that's a total wrong outlook when utilizing emails. Realistically, it's a similar thing to social media. Anybody can post on social media the same way anyone can put an email out there. But we don't want to just put content out there. There should be a strategy behind it. What's the objective of it? What are we pushing them towards, etc., etc. So the aim is to have emails opened. And that's the aim of this game, and gain clicks. Because the purpose of the email is simply one thing: to provide value so they go on to that next step of the customer journey, whether it's to join your Facebook group, to register for a webinar you might be putting out there, whatever the promotion is. So similar to a Facebook post, your email is going to be really similar in the sense of it's going to be hook, story, / value, and then call to action. There should always be a call to action to that email, because there's always something that we're going to be pushing them towards. So we don't want to just put emails out there randomly. We want to make sure that there's enough value in there. We're hooking them in so those emails are actually opened, and more so we want to make sure it's valuable enough so they go on to that next stage of the customer journey, whether it's a webinar, ebook, whatever it might be. We should all be growing our email list as you actually own this. If Facebook closed down tomorrow, which I'm sure it probably wouldn't, then realistically, you don't have anything to talk to your prospects with other than email. So email is the one thing that you actually own. If Instagram closed down, if LinkedIn closed down, etc. So you always want to make sure that you're growing that email list, because that's the one thing I own. That's the one thing where I can remarket to these people. So every single one of you should be growing your email list for that very reason. This is why whenever we run an ad, whenever we're pushing people to a webinar landing page, an ebook, or whatever it is we're promoting, we're always asking for their name and email at the very minimum. And it's for that very reason, because once you've got their email, if they don't take action straight away, then you can always email them again. So when they're ready in a week, in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, when they trust you a lot more, you can remarket to these people with that email. If you don't collect that email and you simply just push them through to the next step of that customer journey, whether it's to download an ebook, to watch a webinar, whatever it might be, you'll never be able to remarket to these people because you don't have their email. So that's one of the reasons, that's one of the first things that we ask for. Your list does not have to be at 10,000 for you to start sending emails. The big misconception I find, oh, I've only got 200 people on my email list, or 500 or 1,000 or whatever it might be. You don't need to wait for a specific number for you to be sending out emails. It's a brilliant thing for you to be utilizing, for you to build a relationship with your prospects. So I put some guidelines together. So depending upon how many people you have on your list, your actions are going to be derived off of that. So if you've got a list of 0 to 100 people, this is exactly what you should be doing. And it's nothing. And the reason it's nothing is because that clearly tells me that your front-end funnel, how you're gathering traffic, is not working. That's what you should be concentrating on at the most, getting more leads in. There's not enough people for you to be sending emails to for it to be worth your while, for it to be worth the time that you're putting into to actually creating that email. So if your list is less than 100, the first thing you should be working on is, all right, how am I getting more people in? So we should be looking at ads, looking at organic traffic, all these different types of things. If your list is between 100 and 500, this is what you should be doing. Still focus on your traffic source, so still have your ads bringing in new leads, etc. But we should be sending at least one email per week at the bare minimum. And you want to be providing valuable content with this. So that email shouldn't be something like an offer post where we're saying, hey, I want to work with 5 coaches this month. It should all be about providing valuable content. So something like your Facebook Live, where on that live, you're going to be providing them with valuable content. It might be a replay of it. But at the bare minimum, if your list is between 100 and 500, once a week, you should be sending them some valuable content in the form of video, ideally, such as a Facebook Live replay, or pushing them to that Facebook Live. If your list is 500 plus, this is what you should be doing. Still focus on your traffic source, because you always should be. You should always be growing that list. But now you should be following the content matrix. So the same thing we're posting in our Facebook group, we're essentially echoing that and copy and pasting that onto email. So on Monday, I'll be sending an email about the belief shift post. Tuesday, about a proof post, a testimonial. Wednesday, I'll be talking about the live and the replay. Thursday, the 2-step. So it might be about a free Facebook ads calculator, some sort of guide. And 5, the offer email. So when you've got a list of 500 plus, you should be sending these emails out every weekday, ideally, because now it's worth your while. It's not like you're creating a post from scratch. You're simply taking the same thing that you're posting in the Facebook group as an email, but now the call to action on the email is slightly different. That's the only thing you need to change. The purpose of the email is to push them into the group. So therefore, when they're in the group, you can talk to them on Messenger and then push them towards a call and sale that way. Yeah. If your email list is 2,000 plus, what you should be doing is exactly what we've talked about previously. But now, number 3, you can test out new promotions, webinars. So you might want to do a live webinar every month, every 2 months, whatever fits your lifestyle. So on top of the content matrix, you might want to tell, and the beautiful thing about having a list for 2,000 plus, before you ever start spending money on ads, you can test this stuff out with your email list. So you might put together 3 webinars, for example, and promote one every single month. And at the end of the 3-month period, you're going to easily understand that, hey, the second one or the first one or the third one, it got the most clicks, it got the most registrants. So now if you want to run ads towards it, which one am I going to go with? The one with more clicks, of course, right? And the beautiful thing about this is it's a great way for you to test any new things that are coming out, new promotions, new offers, new webinars, etc. So that's how you would be utilizing your email list at that point. One really big thing for everyone to consider, keep an eye on your open rate. Your open rate is super important. If you've been sending emails for about 2 to 4 weeks, take a look at what's the open rate. Is it 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%? Because that's going to give you a good indication as to whether the leads that are coming in are good, or 2, the content that you're talking about, is it something that they actually care about? So maybe we need to switch up the content a bit. We don't want to just keep on putting content out there if we're not analyzing the data on the back of it. What's the open rate like? How many people are clicking on that link towards a Facebook group or whatever it is that call to action is on that day? The better the open rate you have, the more likely you're trusted by the email provider that you're using and likely to go in the inbox. So an example, if you've got 1,000 people in your on your email list and the average open rate is 10%, that's 100 people that are opening that. I would much rather have 500 people on my email list with a 40% open rate, which is 200 people opening that. And my point is, the key of this isn't to just get as many people on there as possible. It's getting as many people on there as possible, but also making sure that the open rate is high. So tweaking things, tweaking the content, seeing what's working well, what's not working well, and analyzing that data. Do not sleep on your email list. It can be an absolute profit machine. Whether it's you've got 2,000 people on that list and you're promoting a new webinar, you could easily get 50 to 100 registrants on the back of that just by sending a few emails, right? You always want to get rid of, I think I've missed a slide there, but you always want to get rid of people that haven't opened up their emails in the last 20 emails, I would say. So let's say you sent 20 emails. After 20 emails, you want to look at how many people have opened it, and the people that haven't even opened one, let's get rid of them off our list. You don't have to delete them. You can still keep their leads if you ever needed it in the future, but you don't want to keep sending emails to people who clearly aren't opening it, because that's when your open rate will slowly decrease. So what I mean by this is get rid of the people that aren't opening your emails. And I would say a fair number to aim for is 20. If they've not opened your last 20 emails, and any email provider you use should be able to provide you with that information. If they've not opened the last 20 emails, then it might be worthwhile to remove them from your bulk email list and maybe just use them every now and then if you've got a webinar, for example. But every day when you're sending it out, you only want to send it to people who are actually opening it and have proof that they've opened it. Therefore, your open rate is a lot more higher.